In this lecture, we'll learn how to insert texts in the joining file and how to identify different types of the dimensions of the joining. Basically, AutoCAD provides two different methods for you to insert texts in the joining file. In the first method, you can use the command text or dtext to generate a single line text. With this command, you can select any location in the joining file and place the text in that location. And you can also set the height and the rotation of the text. In the second method, you can use the command mtext to generate multiple line text. And this command will define a text box for users to type multiple lines. And if we want to modify the property of the text, you can call the command mtedit. But remember, this command can only be applied for multiple lines. In this demonstration, I will show you how to insert a single line text in AutoCAD. So here we have to call the command text. And for this command, the first thing you need to do is to specify the location where you want to insert the text. I want to insert a text at this location. And the next step, you have to specify the height of the text. And this one is used for you to identify the font size of the text. For example, if I want to set the height as 1 unit. And then you can identify the rotation angle. Here I set the rotation angle as 30 degrees. If we want to write the text under the horizontal direction, you have to specify the angle as 0 degree. And now you can write down the text at the location you just specified. You can also press the Enter button to generate a new line. Also, you can use your cursor to identify a different location and insert a new line for the text. If you want to exit this operation, you have to press the ESC button. And that's the way for you to generate a single line text in the AutoCAD. Here you can see that the text command can also generate multiple lines, but remember, in this command, the text in each line will be an independent object. So in this example, it will have 3 independent objects. And these are the way for you to generate a single line text. Here, when you use the text command, you can see that you also have the justify and style options. The justify option is applied for you to identify the alignment of the text, and the style is applied for you to specify the font size and the font type of the text. AutoCAD also provides 16 different ways for you to identify the justifications of the text. The option A indicates you will align the text between two designated endpoints. C means you will center the text around a specific point. F will align the text between two designated endpoints with a specific height. M will center the text both horizontally and vertically around a specific point. R will align the text to the right of the designated endpoint. And S will select a different text style. Here, the TL, TC, and TR represents aligned to the top left, top center, and top right. And it will also have the middle left, middle center, and middle right, bottom left, bottom center, and bottom right. You can go back to check all these different options to see the effect of the justification to the text in AutoCAD. AutoCAD also allows the users to change the styles of the text. The command for you to complete this operation is a style or DD style. Once you type the command enter the command window, it will pop out the text style window. In this window, you can define a new style based on a standard text style, or you can modify the property of one existing style, including the font name and the font style. You can also specify the height, which would be the size of the text, or the width for the text. In this demonstration, I will show you how to insert the multiple line text in AutoCAD. To complete this operation, you have to call the command mtext. And then the first thing you need to do is specify the location where you want to insert the text. Under this command, you will have several options. Height is applied for you to specify the font size of the text. Justify will define the alignments for the text. Line spacing will specify the distance or the spacing between two lines. Rotation is used for you to define the rotation angle of the text. The style is applied for you to change the font name and the style of the text. Here, the width option is applied for you to identify the width of the text box here, which would be the width of the rectangle. And if you want to insert multiple columns for the text, you can call the columns option. Under this option, you can define how many columns you would like to insert in your current drawing. And in this example, we will just use the opposite corner to define the text box. And then we can type the multiple line text here. AutoCAD first line. And if we want to get a second line, just press enter. The second line, the third line. And if we want to exit this operation, just click your cursor at any other location on the screen, or you can press the ESC button here. Here, all these three lines will be one single object, and that will be the major difference between the mtext command and text command. And now let's see how can we modify the property of the multiple line text. Here we have to call the command mtEdit. And then you need to specify the multiple line object. If we have a single line object, then the object cannot be selected. Here we have multiple line objects are selected for this operation, and then you can add more text in this text box. Also, you can change the style for the text or the color of the text. And you can actually modify all the property of the text based on this toolbox here. And that's the way for you to use the mtext and mtEdit. In addition, AutoCAD also provides some control codes to insert specific symbols in the text. The degree symbol can be completed by %%D. %%C will help you to insert the diameter symbol. %%P is a plus minus. %%U will be applied to start and stop underline. %%O will start and stop overscoring. In the first example, I will show you how to insert this multiple line text with special symbols in this figure. Well, in this example, we have to write down two lines for the text. So we need to call the command mtext. And then the first thing we need to do is specify the location for the text box. Choosing a corner here, and then specify the height as 1 unit, the justification as meter center, and line spacing, choosing the exact and select value as 1.5. And then we can identify the text box. For the first line, we need to type 60%%B to write down the 60 degree here. Click enter and type B to complete the second line. And at last, you just click your cursor at any other location on the screen. Then you complete the drawing for the first example. In AutoCAD, the dimensioning functions are very important, especially if the users would like to produce clear and concise manual drawings. With these functions, we are able to describe the size of the objects in the joining files. Basically, AutoCAD can provide 5 different types of the dimensioning functions. The first one, linear, is applied to measure the horizontal and vertical distance between 2 points. The second one, aligned, is applied to measure the length of angled lines. The third one, radius, is used to mark the radius of either arcs or circles. And similarly, diameters are used to mark the diameters of circles. The last one, baseline, is actually a special type of the dimensioning functions. This function is applied to automatically stack dimensions along one plane as you pick points. So with this function, you can mark multiple dimensions at the same time and simplify the dimensioning process. Now let's see more details about the dimensioning functions to measure the distance of a line segment. The first function is linear. To insert a linear dimension, you have to call the command dim linear or go to the toolbar to find out the linear dimension. Under this command, there are several settings. The first one, text is applied for you to revise the text of the dimension. The second one, angle, is applied for you to modify the angle of the text. And usually, the command is applied for you to insert the vertical or the horizontal distance of the line segment. But if you want to measure the segment under a certain direction, you can call the rotation option to set up the angle for the direction. The second method is aligned. To insert an aligned dimension, you have to call the command dim aligned. And with this command, you are able to measure the length of some inclined lines. And generally, this kind of length cannot be easily dimensioned with the dim linear dimension. So in this demonstration, I will show you how to insert a linear dimension for a line segment. As we stated earlier, we can either use the command dim linear or go to the toolbar and choose the linear dimension. And then identifying the linear dimension for a line segment would be very simple. You just need to specify the 2 endpoints of the line segments. Then you can either get the horizontal distance or the vertical distance of the line segments. And that's the fundamental application of the linear dimension. Sometimes you may want to personalize the dimension and add some text for the dimension. To complete that task, you have to call the dim linear command. And similarly, you need to specify the segment you want to measure, and then go to the text. Type the text you want to add for the dimension, horizontal 7.9, and then you can add your personalized dimension for that segment. Also, you can modify the angle for this dimension with the option of the angle. Specify the dimension and use the text. Specify the angle. Say the angle is 30 degrees. And now the angle of the text is modified. The last function for this command is rotation. With this option, you can actually measure the distance of the line segment under certain direction. To get this done, let's call the dim linear command, specify the line segment, and then go to the rotation option. And here we want to specify the distance of the line segment under the direction of 30 degrees. And now you will see that the distance of the line segment under the direction of 30 degrees is measured as 4.6. And that's all about the implementation of the linear dimension in AutoCAD. Generally, the linear dimension can only be applied for you to measure the horizontal or the vertical distance of line segments, or the distance under a certain direction. But if we want to measure the length of the line segment, the best option for you is a line dimension. To introduce an align dimension, you have to call the command beam aligned, or go to the toolbar and choose the align dimension. And then you can identify the two endpoints of the line segment, and it will give you the length of the line segment. Similarly, with this command, you can modify the text for the dimension and the angle for the dimension. So that's all about the aligned dimension. In this lecture, we introduced how to insert a single and multiple text in AutoCAD and two fundamental dimensioning functions to measure the distance of a line segment. Actually, there are some more advanced dimensioning functions, and we will learn how to use them in the next lecture.